Good morning, everyone. It is 9:00. Let me put my glasses on. 9:01. It is November 7th. My daughter's birthday, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. And Richard, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yeah, you bet. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Richard. All right, let's continue on with roll call.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here. All right, moving on to item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence?
We do. Robert Edwards from Shadowwood Homeowners Association sent in a letter regarding Public Works paving their roads. The Skokomish Grange, number 379, sent in a request for financial assistance for the restoration and preservation of the historical Grange. Chauffeurs, Teamsters, and Helpers Union, local number 252, sent in notice of contract opening for the Mason County Juvenile Detention Collective Bargaining Agreement for January 1, 2021 through December 31, 2023. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission sent in the following: plan and schedule to address the annual dam safety inspection follow-up items for the Cushman project. Owner's Dam Safety Program external audit due by December 1, 2025 for the Tacoma Power Projects. Revised sudden failure assessment follow-up plan and schedule for the Cushman project. And minimum flow deviations. Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in a cannabis license approval for Two Buds LLC. Ken Van Buskirk sent in comment regarding the Theller Trail. And Mason County Public Hospital District Number 2 sent in levy certification.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to item number 7. Nope, let's move on to item number 5. Wow, I skipped far ahead, didn't I?
What was that thing as a kid? 1, 2, skip a few 1,000? Is that how it works?
All right, that's item number 5. This is the time we set aside for citizen input. We have a 15-minute total, 3-minute per person time schedule. Mark will, as always, keep time for us. So what we do is we ask you to come, raise your hand, I'll recognize you, come to the pulpit, state your name, where you're from, and then we give you 3 minutes. Anybody in the room like to say anything?
Appreciate it. My name is Steve. I am a journalist with Identity. Y'all are familiar with some of the stories I've done here in the county recently. Some clarification on some questions I posed to Mark and to Peter Jones regarding some emails that I received through some records requests. The brass tacks of it is really, it comes down to, apparently Mr. Jones has had to threaten his words, Mr. Rhodes, with different actions. On one occasion, contempt, but there seems to be an unofficial threatening that has occurred on several occasions from Mr. Jones to Mr. Rhodes, and I just want to get clarification. What have those threats been about, and why do they keep happening?
And I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm happy to.
Typically, so Steve, appreciate the comments. Typically, we don't, this is public comment, not public dialogue. And so we don't typically respond in the moment to people who, anybody who makes comments. It's very rare.
Okay.
So just for your own procedural sort of, like, we're not ignoring you. We're here to elicit feedback, not necessarily provide it in this moment.
Okay, and that's fine. I'm happy to set up a time. I've had multiple emails sent that I've now just had complete silence on. I attempted to have an additional dialogue with you several times now, and I haven't been able to arrange that. Is there a way or a time I could set up a conversation with either Mark or one of you or all of you to kind of get to the bottom of this? I think in light of how tight the election was, 0.63 of 1% with Mr. Rhodes winning, and then seeing this kind of material, I think the public probably really want to know about this. This is pretty serious, where the chief public defender's, by his own words, threatening Mr. Rhodes regarding from what it seems like, following the Blake decision, returning funds and that kind of stuff. So there seems to be some fiscal fiduciary issues potentially at play here.
I don't usually chime in either, but I'm gonna tell you one thing, I appreciate that you have questions, and again, this is not a place where we usually have the dialogue like that.
Okay.
I hope you understand that even if you did wanna meet, I know myself, I would never talk to you about personnel issues. That's just not appropriate. You're entitled to public records requests, you're entitled to any document you want, but I can't, I'm not speaking for the other commissioners, but
Sure.
I would never talk about personnel issues with any of my employees, 'cause I would never want to embarrass them or hurt them or put them in any kind of bad situation. Besides that, I think we're kind of not supposed to have those kind of conversations publicly about them. If any type of internal issue would be handled internally that way. If they did something to violate the law or something like that, that'd be different. Then it's open for public records requests. So nothing personal, just telling you that's how I would have handled it if it had been me that you were requesting the meeting with.
Sure, and I can certainly appreciate that, like I said, but this became, public forum once the emails were exchanged. I know, Mark, you were not wanting to become public domain, but I mean, I think to some extent or another, it was desired to be in the public domain, because once those emails occur, it becomes, out in the public. And obviously, something like this is, I would imagine, county citizens would really want to know about. I mean, that's pretty remarkable to have a chief public defender take and move forward with a hearing of contempt against an elected official for not doing something you should be doing.
See,
So,
I think you're turned into a different type of testimony here. So I myself, I feel uncomfortable with it, and I know that we're past the 3 minutes, so we're trying to be as open as possible. If you'd like to talk afterwards a little bit, I'll be around.
yeah, absolutely.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna have conversations about personnel issues, it's just not gonna happen. My job is to actually make sure everybody has a safe, environment.
Sure, yeah, and I don't think this is obviously personnel issues, but fair enough. I'll take it up with perhaps all of you afterwards then.
I did pause it when the commissioners were responding to him to make sure that he had his 3 minutes to get his information out. So yes, it was longer than 3 minutes, but.
All right, well, I'll see if I can talk with you all afterwards. Appreciate it.
You don't wanna hang out for the rest of the meeting?
I will in just a minute. Actually, I've got a couple more questions I gotta go ask Charles right now, so I figure I'll let them do
Perfect.
their time and then I'll come right back.
Good luck.
All right,
Thanks.
thanks. All right, do we have anyone else that would like to address the commission?
Madam Chair, I just want to make a comment for the community to know. Every public records request is a very, very specific subject, and it's a protected avenue, so the people are entitled. They're entitled to certain informations. Anything that's created as a public record. But because something is created as a public record does not mean that everything else that you've had, every conversation is entitled to disclosure. That's not how it works. And although I'm a true believer in being able to get that information, and I am aware of who he is, and in a good way, I don't have any issues with people that do this type of thing in the First Amendment. I just want the public to know, it doesn't mean you're hiding something. People are entitled to the documents. That's the law. They're entitled to know when we come together as, even accidentally, where we might take action of some sort. That's the law. But the rest of it just puts the county at risk if we just start throwing things out that we don't even know. So I just wanted the community to know that as well. It's not that we're hiding it, just that's bad practice, especially personnel.
So I wish Steve was still here. I did have a conversation with Steve after the fact. I believe that we have satisfied his public records request and provided him all the records. I'm not an expert on legal proceedings and how the court systems work. But after conversations with Mr. Jones, when an action isn't taken or you want something to occur, sometimes you'll file a notice of contempt to bring it back before the judge, so the judge can actually make an additional ruling. And that was the term threat. That was the notice of contempt that was going to be filed. So I think it was sometimes attorney talk that goes back and forth, but the true term was, if you don't respond, I will file a notice of contempt.
Yeah. And attorneys have a different way of talking.
They do.
We all know that, right? Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. All right, anyone else in the room? Anyone in the Zoom room have anything they'd like to say other than what is on the action agenda? Deidre, can you see anybody? Okay, great. All right. Let's move on. Now let's move on to item number
Something else?
6, unless you want to say something else.
Looks like you're both on Zoom and present.
What? Oh. Yes, I see you, Randy.
How? I never even joined by Zoom.
It's like, I'm seeing
Maybe
you
it's an
twice.
Oh, you know what, it'd probably send a message and then,
You didn't notice that.
That's okay, we know you're sitting beside us.
Yes.
So, as you figure that out, we're gonna go ahead and move on to item number 6. The adoption of the adoption of the agenda. Here we go. Anybody got a motion?
Madam Chair, move adoption of today's agenda.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt today's agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
So, Madam
opposed?
Chair, what I've been able to testify as a citizen since I was up there, just out of curiosity.
How did you do
No, what happened is it sends an alarm for the meeting. I must have pushed it and it just automatically logged
Log you
on.
in.
Yeah,
It was like teleportation
Yeah.
before very eyes.
yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, I was confused.
Thank you for that.
Just want to testify.
Well, he kept going, he kept pointing us at you. I didn't know what he was talking about.
That's why I moved up, I thought you said.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to item number 7, approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I move for this claims clearing fund. Warrants number 8100199 through 8100541. The amount, $4,321,481.46. Direct deposit fund, warrants number 100883 through 101288. The amount, $853,512.08. Salary clearing fund, warrants number 7007698 through 7007723, the amount $567,927.25. Item number 8.2, approval of a resolution voiding outstanding warrants as listed in Exhibit A. Item number 8.3, approval of the contract amendment with Community Lifeline, putting Community Lifeline on reduced funding status due to non-compliance and the inability to effectively implement corrective action, quality improvement, and technical assistance provided. Item number 8.4, approval to award Wildwood Playgrounds Northwest, located in Portland, Oregon, the contract to install the Sand Hill Field Playground equipment at the turnkey installation quote of $137,177.64.
Item 8.5, approval of the resolution designating certain low-volume unpaved county access roads as primitive roads. Item 8.6, approval of the resolution for county road projects number 2051 Shelton Matlock Road Safety Enhancement Project, 2052 North Shore Road Tahuya Post Office Bridge Project, 2053 Shetland Road Improvement District Project, and 2043 through 2058 for the Ills Hill Road, Tahuya Blacksmith Road, Ellis Road, Yates Road, and Bierbauer Road gravel road conversion projects. Approval for the county engineer to advertise requests for qualifications as needed for consultant services for the projects and enter into contracts, and approval for the county engineer and/or chair to sign all pertinent documents. Item 8.7, approval to purchase the TechScan Z5000 for the estimated amount of $1,659 to replace and upgrade the Channel 3 broadcast system. And item 8.8, approval to reappoint Dan Dittmer and Pamela Stevens to the Veterans Advisory Board for a 2-year term, which will expire November 7th, 2025.
Item 8.8, approval of the resolution amending resolution number 2023-048, revising the non-represented salary range table to add the building official position at range 38. Item 8.10, approval to appoint William Harris to the Transportation Improvement Program Citizens Advisory Panel to represent Commissioner District 1, Allen Urban Growth Area for a 3-year term expiring November 7th, 2026. Item 8.11, approval of the following Mason County officers, employees, and volunteers' request for defense and indemnification coverage assigned by the county as named defendants in the case of Nathan Bradley Fouts, number 323460, case number 323CV05594, RAJDWC, United States District Court case served upon them on October 26, 2023 via USPS Kevin Hansen. Having read through the action agenda, are there any items you would like to have removed for separate discussion or vote?
Not for me.
And anyone in the audience, either in the room or via Zoom, like anything removed for separate discussion or vote? Ken?
Hello, commissioners, can you hear me?
We
Yes,
can.
Yeah, I'd like to ask that item 8.6 on the consent agenda be removed for separate discussion and vote.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, commissioners?
Madam Chair, I move for approval of the action agenda in its entirety with the exception of item 8.6, which will be removed for a separate vote.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second for approval of the action agenda as presented, with the exception of 8.6 to be removed for separate discussion and vote. Any further discussion?
Not for me.
Just excited about Sand Hill Playfield. We're gonna have a playfield in North Mason, provided by the Mason County, which we've been missing all these years, and it's pretty spectacular. And I think it came out of the trip we all took. So I wanna thank everybody for that. My community definitely needs it, and I'm sure they appreciate it. And also, one more thing on, it's always sad when we hear that we're gonna reduce funding, but I want the public to know that our staff worked really hard to try and put all the pieces together to make it work, and gave everybody every opportunity that is humanly possible within government, because we have to answer to other people like the state auditor. So thank you to our employees for trying so hard, and hopefully with what we put together here, it'll continue to work so we can provide some service to these people that need it.
Yeah, and just in the other part of that is that they would be eligible to have funding restored if they were able to get compliant. So this is hopefully a step towards that direction.
Right, right, encourage them to reach out and accept some help too. That would be very good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, let's move on to item 8.6. This is the approval of the resolution for county road projects number 2051. And I'm not gonna read all through them. So I'm just gonna call staff up. Dave, would you like to come up and lead us, unless Mike is up there? No, it's up to you.
Good morning, Commissioners,
Good
and
morning.
thank you. My name's, for the record, David Smith, Department of Public Works. Item 8.6, this is to establish CRP numbers for various projects that are listed here. And there's several conversions of gravel roads to chip seal or asphalt. And we'd like to be able to advertise to complete the work, and so that's what this item is.
Can you define CRP?
County road project, it allows us to set a funding mechanism for it so we can charge to it and track all the costs associated with it. And then make sure that everything's, the paperwork's all rectified by the various funding sources, which typically come in and audit.
And that same information would be used to bill out if there was an entity that was supposed to have to pay for it. We'd use those same information for billing out for any work that we've had done.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
If there was a court case or something like that that came about, and they were found that there was a need for another entity to pay for some of the work that has to be done to fix the issues, it'd also be how we would keep track of those dollars and those numbers as well,
Yes, it tracks all the money and
Yeah.
the work that's done by type.
including planning. Okay, thank you.
No questions.
All right. Anybody in the audience have questions for staff? Ken, do you have a question for staff, or do you want?
No, I don't have any questions, thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, let's move on to public testimony. Or comment.
Yeah, I do have a public comment if I might.
Go for it, Ken.
Thank you, folks. I had the chance to watch the briefing this morning, and I understand that this CRP is just basically establishing a number to track. I was distracted when I saw that there was a $200,000 figure assigned to it. And so I don't see an issue with this, but I would like to comment that I understand Mr. Carey sent an email to you this morning regarding that Caldervin Creek. And I'd like to encourage or suggest that the county file a motion to intervene in the recent court matter regarding Caldervin Creek as it relates to this particular item, just to protect the Mason County citizens' rights. So I have no objection to establishing a CRP number, and I appreciate your taking my comment. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ken. Anyone else? All right, commissioners, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move approval of item 8.6.
Well, just so you know, I read the other one quick, I jumped in quick because I knew I was gonna have him do this one. Didn't work, backfired on me big time. Madam Chair, I'll second.
Did it backfire you on me? All
Well
right.
played, sir.
Not my first rodeo.
All right, we do have a motion and a second to approve the resolution for County Roads Project number 2051, Shelton Matlock Road Safety Enhancement Project 2052, North Shore Road Tahuya Post Office Bridge Project 2053, Shetland Road, it's twice, Improvement District Project and 2043 through 2058 for the Ills Hill Road, Tahuya, Blacksmith Road, Ellis Road, Yates Road, Beerbauer Road, Gravel Road Conversion Projects, approval for the county engineer to advertise request for qualifications as needed for consultant services for the projects, and enter into contracts and approval for the county engineer and or chair to sign all pertinent documents. All right. Discussion?
Not for me.
Not for me.
No. I want to thank Dave for coming in and for the great explanation that we had yesterday during the briefing. So appreciate you guys. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Great, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 9, other business. This is the time we set aside for department heads and elected officials to address the commission if they desire. Do we have any department heads or elected officials that would like to talk to the commission? Anyone in the Zoom room? Yes.
Thank you. I'd just like to update, sorry, Mark Neary, I'm Mason County Administrator. So I'd just like to update the public. I know that in the last couple of meetings that we've had individuals from our corrections department come in and talk about their concerns that they have with the safety of the organization and how we're moving forward. And so there's some pertinent information that I think is applicable for the public to know. So would just like to kind of go over what we've done and where we're at. So we actually signed a most current collective bargaining agreement on January 3rd, 2023. In 2022-2023 time period, we issued a $10,000 retention bonus to all of our current corrections deputies to ensure that they would stick around. And for the 22-24 CBA, we had an additional $2,500 of retention paid to those individuals. During this collective bargaining agreement, the corrections deputy wage increased 12% at the entry level. So really trying to attract individuals to come in. We have a $10,000 signing bonus. We increased that starting wage by 12%. and a 9.7% increase at the top end of that corrections deputy scale. We also have community service officers that handle a lot of our inmates that are on work release or other programs. Those individuals received a 12% at both the entry and top step during the term of this contract. And we, so individuals go through the step increases. If you're familiar with a normal governmental entity and union collective bargaining agreement, we have steps that individuals go through, and it usually pertains to their years of service. So within this corrections contract, an individual will top out after 4 steps, and then after that, they'll start receiving longevity pay. So that's an additional percentage on top of theirs. We've continued to provide increases to their health care insurance over the term of the contract to the tune of about 11.45%. We increased the shift differential. So in 2021, it was 50 cents per hour. In 2022, we increased it to 75 cents an hour. And in 2023, $1 per hour. So that's for individuals that are working night shift. We changed the requirements associated for individuals working out of class to make it a shorter time period for them to actually be compensated for that additional work. And as with all of our collective bargaining agreements, we have 7 comp counties that we try to compare ourselves to. These counties are similar, and I say similar, kind of biting my tongue, similar in size, so population, and tax base. So individual counties that are quite a bit larger than us may have a lot larger tax base. The capability of them to pay or have larger departments and offices makes sense. So we try and put ourselves right in the middle, where Mason County stands in terms of population and tax base, and we're currently sitting at 4th out of 7 of those. HR has done quite a bit of recruiting that they've tried to go out. They've attended 8 career fair and community events. They've really bolstered their social media programs. So they have LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. The followers on each one of those media platforms has continued to increase, which is great. That not only benefits trying to find corrections workers, it really benefits trying to find replacements for all the different positions that open up within the county. The Human Resources Department funded some of the Sheriff's Office recruitment efforts, so we paid for 150 signs. If you're traveling around Mason County, you might see those signs that say we're hiring corrections officers, and talks about the signing bonus and that it's a great place to work. We have a pretty good, it's not monetary, but it's time-based incentive programs for those individuals. And we've continued to maintain those that kind of help create that work-life balance associated with having time off. So the Human Resources is continuing to work with the Sheriff's Office. And as you go through the Sheriff's Office, the difference between the Sheriff's Office and some of our normal departments and offices is they have a public safety testing, PST, program that individuals have to go through in order to be ranked through the Civil Service Commission. And once those individuals that are applying for jobs are ranked, then they go into the interview process with the Sheriff's Office. For all of our other offices and departments within the county, we use NeoGov, which NeoGov is a fairly new application that Human Resources has stood up, and it has done a great job of getting information out there so that individuals can be aware of what's going on in Mason County and the positions or opportunities that are open. It also provides them with a really seamless way of applying for those positions. So once they data enter their information into it, it really is as easy as a click of a button in order to apply for an opening that they're interested in. We're continuing to work with the Sheriff's Office of how we kind of share those resources. So NeoGov and public safety testing definitely want to utilize both to try and attract individuals. One of the other requirements that often comes with law enforcement are fairly specific requirements associated with previous drug use. And since marijuana was legalized in Washington State, our environment has changed, and the individuals applying for jobs at the county have changed. So the Sheriff's Office has actually removed some or lessened some of the requirements associated with marijuana use. may make more individuals eligible to work in our jail. They've implemented, or our county has implemented, a flexible spending account that allows individuals to put money away for healthcare and medical costs that they have. That is, they can take the tax benefit up front, and they don't have to do it at the end of the year in their taxes. And we've spent a lot of time with the jail and administration and the Sheriff's Office administration, as well as the jail staff, to try to understand the program, the individuals that they're trying to attract, and identify opportunities that we can go out and really target individuals that may be interested in this type of career. So I'm excited about the opportunities that we have here at Mason County in our jail. I think that we have a great group of people that work there, and I would love to, if there are individuals out there that are interested in it, please contact our Human Resources Department and get into that process.
Great. I think also it's important to mention that we're outsourcing.
True. So when there was safety concerns, thank you, Commissioner. When there was safety concerns about the number of people that we had working in the jail, they came to the commissioners, and the commissioners approved an outsourcing contract with Nisqually. And what that allows us to do is take some of the population within the jail and house them in Nisqually as opposed to in our own jail. And so I think that last time I looked, we had about 20 individuals that we were outsourcing to Nisqually, where they're staying in Nisqually, and we have about 27 individuals within our current jail.
Thank you.
And for those that are listening, if you hear everything he just said, and you're in a dead-end job and you've got no place that you seem to be moving, and you're always wishing you had a career that has great benefits, good pay, this is your opportunity, right here local. And you can work with some great people that they're like a family in there. So this is your opportunity. Don't miss it.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, anyone else?
Hopefully my phone will go up. Hey, good morning, Commissioners. Steve Dunkley, your home auditor. Just want to remind everybody it's Election Day, and if you haven't had a chance to submit your ballot, you still have time to cast your vote. If you're going to put your ballot in the U.S. mail, be sure to get it postmarked today so it's not counted as late. And if you put it in the ballot drop boxes, we have 11. They close at 8 p.m. and we'll be posting initial results shortly after that. So thank you very much.
Mr. Auditor, what is turnout currently at?
In terms of total votes?
Yeah, what's our voter turnout so far?
Percentage.
Percentage-wise.
Didn't check it yesterday, the day before, we were just at around 8,400 ballots received. So expect more today.
What do we have, 38,000
Yeah.
registered?
Our registered voters are not that high. It's about 31,400. Last check.
All right, exciting day.
Yep, it's gonna be a good day.
All right, anyone in the Zoom room? Not seeing any hands. All right, let's move on down for our public hearings. Let's start with item 10.1. This is a public hearing to review and consider awarding the solid waste long-haul transport and disposal contract to Mason County Garbage, and ask Richard to come forward.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Richard Dickinson, Public Works, Deputy Director, Utilities Waste Management. As you know, Public Works advertised for requests for proposals back in May. We received 2 proposals that were deemed to be responsive, and interviews were held with both of the responding parties, Republic Services and Mason County Garbage, on Wednesday, July 12th. Currently, Republic Services is providing our hauling, subcontracting with Grady Trucking Company, and disposing at their Roosevelt landfill in Goldendale, Washington. And the contract for that expires February 28th, 2024. The board previously authorized staff to advertise for a public hearing to be held on August 1st. Due to a schedule conflict and ongoing negotiation, the board rescheduled the hearing to Tuesday, November 7th. Negotiations have not concluded at this time, and respectfully, staff are requesting a hearing continuation. Budget impacts are unknown. Last year, approximately $3.1 million was spent to haul and dispose of our solid waste. Notice of public hearing announcement was published July 20th and 27th. We would like to publish again because it has been months since it was actually in the paper. And we're going to request the board continue the hearing, and this is where I get confused because my notes were different, until December 5th and possibly January 16th. I had two dates there. And
That's because that's how we left you.
awesome. Thank you.
So we are going to come back to the board on December 5th. If we're able to get everything tied up and ready to go, then we'll go ahead and have the public hearing. If not, we would request the board to continue it to January 16th. If we have to continue it to January 16th, we've already met the notification requirements associated with it, but since we've continued it 3 times now.
Yes.
We wanted to issue another notification to the public just to make them aware. So if in fact we have to continue it to January 16th, I would request that we be able to do another notice to the public through Mackenzie, thank you Mackenzie, that hearing would be January 16th for the solid waste long haul contract.
All right, any questions for staff? Nope. No?
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone in the audience have questions for staff? Anyone in the Zoom room? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to deliberation or motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we table this discussion until December 5th, where we brought back up again. I'm gonna make a comment afterwards.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to table this discussion until December 5th. Discussion?
Yeah, just, the commission had a long discussion, just to clarify for you, what reason why December 5th and not January is we have a list of things we want to see, and it'll tell us whether we're actually going to be signing or not, and if we're not, we're going to have other conversations. So we expect to have that list fulfilled and brought to us for our consideration before we make that decision. Is that-
Yeah. Pretty good summary. Any discussion?
No, not for me.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call for the vote then. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Richard. All right, let's move on to 10.2. This is a public hearing to consider establishment of a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on Sunny Slope Road and Kelly Hall Road, and to consider changing the 45-mile-per-hour speed limit on Brockdale Road from milepost 1.973 to milepost 2.080 to 30 miles per hour. And I'm assuming it's gonna be you, Dave.
How did Mike rope you into doing all these today?
It's his anniversary, he told me.
Oh!
Wait, you notice he said
Sure.
he told me. Yeah, there's a difference.
We haven't
Did you ask for
clarified
the
that.
marriage certificate? I mean,
Yeah,
what do we,
no, it sounds like he has several of them a year.
Yeah, he didn't say what his anniversary was.
Yeah, it's the anniversary we had his first Pepsi Cola.
Yeah.
That's a big day.
It's the third one this year.
Yeah.
David Smith, Department of Public Works. And the items here, there's 3 items: establishing speed limit on Sunny Slope and Kelly Hall Road, and revising the current speed limit on a portion of Brockdale Road. The Sunny Slope Road and Kelly Hall Road were roads that were basically gravel. They were primitive roads, and those were converted to hard surfaces, and therefore they no longer qualify for primitive roads. So we took those off, and we're recommending an establishment of a speed limit of 25 miles per hour for those 2. And the third one is both a safety issue and sort of a house cleaning issue there. At the intersection of Batstone and Island Lake with Brockdale, it was 45 going one direction and 30 going the other, because that's where the city-county boundary is. And we've been working with the city for some time on it, and we finally got that put together, and that's our recommendation, is it be consistent in both directions at 30 miles per hour for safety issues.
All right, thanks, Dave. Any questions for Dave?
for me.
Anyone in the audience have questions for Dave? How about in the Zoom room? All right, Dave, thank you.
I have a quick question for you, Dave. Sure. So on Brockdale, where we actually changed from 45 to 30, do we actually put out some of those if for individuals that travel that road every day? I mean, do we put out some type of flashing speed limit active sign to make people aware that the speed limit has changed?
Yeah, it's not a flashing light, but it's a red flag, sort
Oh,
of like
okay.
if you're water skiing, you know, the little red flag, it's similar to that, we put them on the signs.
Okay,
Make people aware that there's a change in traffic pattern there.
great, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave. All right, do we have anyone that would like to submit public testimony? Nope. Anyone in the Zoom room? Nope. All right. Commissioners?
Madam Chair, I move approval of the following changes in speed limits. Road number 61950 Sunny Slope Road to 25 miles per hour from milepost 0.000 through milepost 0.5510. Road number 01300 Kelly Hall Road, also to 25 miles per hour from milepost 0.0000 to milepost 1.9460. And road numbers 90090, 50090 Brockdale Road, from the existing 45 mile per hour speed limit to 30 miles per hour from milepost 1.9730 through 2.0800.
Madam Chair, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the following changes. Road number 61950, Sunny Slope Road, recommended 25 miles per hour between mile posts 0.0 through 0.5510. Road number 01300 Kelly Hall Road, 25 miles per hour, 0.0 mile post 0.00 through mile post 1.9460. And road number 90090 through 50090 Brockdale Road, change it from 45 to 35 miles per hour, mile post markers 1.9730 through 2.080.
It's actually 30 miles, not 35.
Oh, well, I was changing that for my
That's
benefit.
okay, yeah. You get the 5 mile an hour bump.
I'll second her motion. Just kidding.
And the city can change theirs. All right. Any discussion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, just a quick comment. So, we're doing these changes for safety, of course, but also it's a great opportunity to highlight our gravel road conversion program, and we wouldn't be changing the speed limits on Sunny Slope or Kelly Hall if it weren't for that program and getting those projects completed. And I've heard from a few people who live down Kelly Hall Road. I'm not sure they were going under 25 before. I don't expect them to go 25 now, but maybe maybe we can get the sheriff's office out there to do a speed detail for the people on Kelly Hall Road. But I know it's greatly appreciated having these projects done.
80th percentile, we'll see. Are you guys gonna do a count afterwards?
We haven't set them out there yet, but we typically do a count after within a year to just see if we're close on our.
So we may be revisiting that.
I was being facetious. This,
Yeah, but it's accurate. We try to set things within the 80th percentile when possible. Great job. It's been a long time in coming for some of these conversions, and we just gotta say thank you that we're finally getting some of these things done. Good job.
Sure you don't want to go to 35?
Any takers?
For the record, we some years back, we found that the 80th percentile is very important. On Pickering Road, we actually had, after we had raised or lowered the speed limit, we had to raise it again. The reason why we had to raise it again is people were traveling much faster and they were passing school buses because it just wasn't realistic to go the speed that we had on it. So we had to have hearings to actually raise the speed limit in areas that had businesses and everything else in order to protect people. That's why I mentioned the 80th percentile.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, guys. You guys do a terrific job, both of you.
Thank you.
Or all three of you. All right, let's move on to item number 11, board calendars and reports. Commissioner Shute, if you'll go first, Commissioner Netherland, and then I'll follow.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one quick item from last week, had an opportunity to attend a ribbon cutting up near the Jefferson County line for an ARPA project that we funded with Hood Canal Communications and Mason PUD1 and the State Curb Board. And so had a chance to meet with some of the new customers who are getting connected to the internet because of our commitment through ARPA funds to make these projects work. So they wanted me to pass along their thanks to the commission for supporting those types of projects out in the community, and I wanted to just share that with you as well. Heading forward here, have a meeting with our prosecutor this morning after our meeting, then also have a MACECOM labor negotiations meeting this afternoon. Also have IT steering committee, have a meeting with Mayor Anisco to talk about housing. Also, we'll probably be attending the Wasac bylaws amendment meeting. It's a virtual meeting on Thursday. Have a check-in with Congressman Kilmer's new Mason County staffer, Stephanie. Also, Behavioral Health Coalition agenda prep meeting. Back for briefings, I have my bi-weekly BH, oh, I skipped a week. Hang on. Can't trust commissioners and computers. Let's see here. Then we do have the Veterans Day holiday, so appreciate taking the opportunity to thank our veterans for their service. Mason Crisis Systems of Care Work Group. Then I have a MACECOM board meeting. Hood Canal Coordinating Council board meeting. Also have a NACO West Region meeting, as well as I might also attend, at least virtually, our annual meeting of our state association on the 16th. Then I have my check-in with Congressman Kilmer's staff and the Behavioral Health Coalition agenda prep. And then Monday, again, the bi-weekly check-in with the BHASO administrative staff.
Okay, Madam Chair, the past weeks met with some folks regarding the Razor Road. The group I am bound to be a part of until I'm either gone or whatever, and that's the North Mason School District's Facility Advisory Committee. We got a few dollars some years back, and now we're committed for life. That's just how it works. I met with the ARC. I met with some other folks regarding the traffic changes on Highway 3 and what's been happening there. Rotary Club meeting. I was able and enjoyed being a judge here in Shelton for the Halloween costumes, and it was absolutely wonderful. Some of those little kids, you can't help but smile when you see some of those faces. We had our briefings, we had closed sessions, executive sessions. I met with a group regarding low-income housing, the LEF board, the Law Enforcement and Firefighters Board. And coming up here after this, I have a meeting with Habitat for Humanity. I'll be doing a presentation to the Boy Scouts. I will probably attend one election party tonight to support and celebrate with a friend of mine. Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority meeting. Briefing on the bylaws for Wasac. I intend to be on there. I also intend to be, I'm going to try to be at the annual meeting virtually as well. Let's see. ORCA Finance, Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority Finance Committee meeting, another Rotary meeting. Kiwanis is having a flag raising ceremony. We have our regular briefings, employee town hall, thank you. I will be conducting the employee town hall. Mason County Housing Authority, North Mason Chamber of Commerce. Bill Mahan groundbreaking. I don't know if any of you will be there for that, for low-income housing. And that brings us back, and we'll start all over again.
All right, thank you. So let's see, this afternoon, I don't think you guys will be there, but I do have a dental appointment, so if you guys are really,
Wouldn't you be surprised?
Are they gonna knock you out? Yeah, we'll just sit there throw things at you.
tomorrow I get to go to Shelton High School and participate in their Career Expo. Super exciting.
I'm gonna be blown away by some of those kids.
Oh my gosh, well, and it's 9th through seniors, so I'm pretty excited. And then also, the ever exciting, I'm having my septic inspected, so it's always an adventure. There is a business after hours tomorrow at our community credit union, so I'm hoping to go to that as well. Tomorrow is also a kind of a special day. It's Mackenzie's birthday.
Oh,
Should we sing to her now, guys?
No.
16.
16?
16 going on 17.
Will not embarrass you now, but tomorrow, plan on it.
Oh, thanks.
EDC meeting, EDC legislative meeting, Public Works Executive Board Committee meeting, the WASAC bylaws briefing, Pack Mountain budget meeting, Veterans Day. Look around the county. It is so stinking cool because you'll see green lights everywhere, and that's to recognize our veterans. So look around the county. It's pretty special. They hold a special place in my heart. Well, as I'm sure everybody's hearts. Also, Saturday is the Power of the Purse. If you don't have your tickets, get them.
Forgot to notice that. I'll be there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I'm gonna try now that I know it's there, I didn't.
Yeah. We have just a few tickets left, so Power of the Purse is our domestic violence shelter
Incredible.
fundraiser, and it's fun. So if you're in the area, come on and join us. Buy a ticket. And then next week, I leave Monday after our briefings for Spokane for the WASAC conference. During that time, I have Timber County's meetings, the WASAC Board of Directors meeting, LSC meeting. We're also going to be visited by, hold on, I've got his name. It's Admiral Peter Cressy. So pretty excited about that. Coastal Caucus meeting, county recognition, and then lots of breakout sessions, so those are always fun. WASAC General membership meeting, I'll be there. Public Works Board Executive meeting. They have their closing, and then I have another Coastal Counties meeting. That's weird. And then we have a Pack Mountain final adoption meeting, and then I fly back home on Friday.
The education you get at those are just,
Oh my gosh.
it's
Yeah,
valuable.
it's very cool. And then we're back for our briefings. Don't forget about our WASAC virtual assemblies. I'm not sure if we're gonna have one that day or not because we met all week. So.
Need a break.
With
Each
that,
other.
I'm sure staff needs a break
Yeah.
from all of these commissioners and council members. Then I'm also going to be touring our transfer stations on Monday with Richard, so that should be a lot of fun. And then we're back for our commission meetings. I think I didn't miss anything, but if I did, I can announce it later. All right. Anything else, commissioners?
For me. Move we adjourn.
Second?
All right, we're adjourned.
Oh.